Good morning. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is September the 23rd. So, this has been a really interesting weekend with that whole whistleblower situation because, Trump is spending all of his good energy trying to deflect. And it doesn't appear as if that's going so well for him because in the process of deflecting, he's also admitting to conversations, he's admitting to the things they talked about. And so if this keeps up, they're not even going to need the whistleblower's report because Trump's going to end up blabbing all about it anyways. But be that as it may, I thought this morning I would take a look because this is clearly the hot topic, right? I mean, this is clearly what is going on. So two things are going on right now. There's that meeting at the UN where Trump is most likely to make an ass of himself. And other world leaders are most likely to just shake their head. The other world leaders, when they can, are going to be flattering him and patting him on the back because that's the only way to get Trump to sort of fall into line in any way, shape, or form. And then, of course, that is all being overclouded by the fact that there is this literally whistleblower scandal going on in real time, and that's not looking so good. So I have a question. Come on down and let's see what we can find out. Come on down. So we'll give it a couple more quick little shuffles. And we are wanting to know, what you doing, Dems? What you doing, Dems? What you doing, Dems? I mean, because when it comes right down to it, mostly what we want to know is what the Democrats are prepared and willing to do about this situation, how this is going to move forward. So let's take a look at that. Okay. So, for those of you who have been incredibly frustrated by the whole sort of slow and very methodical response coming from the Democrats, this is what I can tell you. Part of the strategy was sort of to give Trump enough rope to hang himself. Because every time he opens his mouth, he's digging his own grave deeper. That was why you saw that sort of, and I will say united front from the Democrats in terms of being more temperate in their response. There was a reason why it needed to build and build slowly so that there was a sense that Trump had been given every chance and every opportunity. The administration had been given every chance and opportunity. And so what you have now is literally a stalemate where despite all the opportunities, Trump and the Trump administration have just continued to roadblock everything, deny every request. So what is happening now is there is now a reevaluation going on. They're basically getting their ducks in a row because this whole whistleblower thing in some ways was almost like the bomb that the Democrats were waiting for. Because this is the thing, right? Everything that's gone on so far is it's complicated, okay? Unless you've actually read the Mueller report, you don't really understand kind of what all happened there, unless of course you happen to watch really good news coverage, and at least they've done a relatively good job of trying to explain what's out there. So the problem is you had this Mueller report that not enough people read, and so most people don't exactly know the details of it. So then it put the Democrats in this really painstaking process of trying to rebuild that whole scenario in public. Now, what has changed is because of this whistleblower, the Democrats are now able to move forward faster and with a single focus. And that's, in some ways, that's what they have been trying to create all of these months, is they've been trying to bring it down into some sense of razor sharpness so that people could focus almost like on one situation or one issue. With this whole whistleblower thing, and of course Trump's, reaction, which is to blab that it was a beautiful call, it was a perfect call, and well, of course he talked to him about Joe Biden because what he did and what he got away with, yak, 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 yak. So they're now able to move forward with more aggression and more focus because they really can focus on literally one thing, one central focus, and allow basically the court systems going forward to deal with Trump and the Trump administration. I would not be at all surprised if you didn't see far more aggression coming from the Democrats. It's like finally their cup overflows. Like finally the pieces have fallen into place in such a way so that they can move forward with confidence that this is something that everybody on a broad scale is going to understand. They're going to understand it's wrong, and they can get behind it. They don't have to read a 1,000-page report to understand all the details, etc., etc. And make no mistake, they are out to bring him down, okay? They want him kneecapped. I've said that before. I'll say it again. And I really believe deep, deep in Nancy Pelosi's heart, that's exactly what she wants too. It's not enough to just kind of remove him from office. It's only going to be enough when what he accomplished, it just becomes it just becomes such a disgrace that the GOP will not be able to escape it for generations to come, because that, of course, is part of the problem, right? If things were working the way they were supposed to be working, the GOP would be blocking Trump. They would be saying, no, this isn't acceptable, buddy. Get back on your paper. But they're not doing that. So they are just as complicit, and they are also needing to be put in their place. And I think that is the overall strategy. Yeah, they're just looking to, when it's all said and done, there's going to be lists and lists of things that were done wrong, that Trump didn't comply with, that his administration didn't comply with. But when it comes right down to it right now, they have that golden opportunity, that golden situation where it is one thing, it is clearly understandable, and it looks as if that they can almost hang everything on that, and the other parts of it just become the trimmings around a steak. Sorry, that's all I came up with as for an analogy. Kind of, if you think of a baked potato, all the other horrendous stuff he did is like the butter and the bacon bits and the green onions. They're going to incorporate it into the whole. But what he has done is he has given them a perfect, razor sharp focus. And down he comes. And what is going to help them is creative ideas, the spoken word, communicating things very precisely and concisely. I'm not saying that this is going to happen by Wednesday, okay? But you're going to see this ramping up, this evolution, this moving more forward more quickly, because this has hit a level where it cannot be ignored. This cannot wait now for him to be reelected and leave office. They have to start those steps moving forward. That is where their strength is going to be. So this is the thing that's interesting to me, and I like I say, I've been perfectly honest about this before. I really like Nancy Pelosi, and I really think she's got a remarkable brain, okay? Like, she's strategic. She's been in this a long, long time. She knows how to make it work for the long game. And part of what has happened with Trump is this sense of everything has to be right now. It has to be instant. And so if all the Democrats are jumping on board to try to flog this guy, well, that's just wrong. But you know what? He's the only one, Trump, who created this momentum where everything has to happen really, really fast. And part of the reason he does that is because it creates chaos, right? I mean, people can't get a grip because the next thing is coming at them before they finish processing the thing before it, and so on and so on. So in some ways, she is playing a much longer game with much more solid or concrete results. But this is something I do not understand. I understand that there's talk about, wanting to hang on to the House seats that are maybe in purple or red districts where there is a Democrat in place. And they're being very cautious to make sure that they try to protect those House Democrats who are in those seats. But what I don't understand is you were given a mandate in 2018. You were told overwhelmingly from blue districts and purple districts and red districts, stop this president. He's irresponsible. It's very possible he might be a little insane. He is out of control. Stop. Put the brakes on him. And for some reason that I fail to understand, even with that strong, forceful wave mandate in 2018, there still seems to be some reluctance to kind of move this thing forward at a pace that, maybe has been a little bit more satisfying. And so I'm really, really hoping we see that sort of go by the wayside now as they're going to move forward on something that is very focused. But they really do need to recognize the mandate that they were given, okay? So, and here we have the King of Pentacles, which is one of my trump cards. We have the White House trying to spin and deflect and cause chaos and confusion. It's not going to actually work. This is the thing. You can defend somebody as long as the facts are cloudy or muddied, because it just sort of, it gets difficult to kind of follow the logical sequence of events. But when something happens that is just one blatant, complete abuse of presidential power, it's very easy to focus on that. And that's exactly what is going on here. Trump is going to continue to distract. He's going to throw stuff up in the air and see what sticks to the wall. A whole lot of it is not going to stick, okay? Because it's just too in your face wrong. Like, he actually finally may have crossed a line. I know that's shocking because God knows he has plowed right through every other line. But I got a feeling this might actually be a problem for him. he's going to continue to distract. He's going to create illusions. He's going to, create distractions. For example, just as I was going to do this reading, Trump was attending at the United Nations the meeting about climate change. Now, we know he could give a tinker's damn about climate change because, what was it he said? This is a plot cooked up by the Chinese to get more money out of people or something insanely like that. But then, okay, so he's kind of doing that to calm some of the waters because there's been a lot of stuff coming to the surface lately about how damaging his presidency and his administration has actually been for the global climate change situation. And the next thing he does is he's giving a speech on religious persecution. Because, of course, of all of the people on the globe who are being persecuted for their religious beliefs, you ready? It's the evangelicals who are most picked on. So he's going up there to talk about how the evangelicals are being religiously persecuted. So let's throw more crap out there and let's see what sticks. Let's see how foggy we can make this, how murky and how muddy. That's what his plan is. And it's not going to work. It's just not. He's not going to be able to escape the facts, just the facts. They're so simple and so easy to understand. So that's going to be very interesting to see how this kind of unfolds because they're going to try to cover it up, right? They're going to try to, keep diverting attention this way or that way. And it just doesn't make sense. And honestly, they don't have a leg to stand on, right? I mean, the things that they're trying to accuse others of doing is exactly what they are overwhelmingly guilty of themselves. Excuse me. So this is the thing. It's like fallout here. And for some reason this fall, my throat doesn't appear to be appreciating the air. So sorry for that. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. So the whistleblower stuff, it actually might end up coming out. If it doesn't come out from the whistleblower, it is going to be so well reported. There's going to be so much insight, investigative reporting, however it happens, that most of the story is actually going to be known at some point. So whether it comes out through the whistleblower or whether it comes out through investigative journalism, there's going to be a lot more information out there about exactly what went on. So you can look forward to that and understand this creates a change of fortune over a partnership that he was trying to create. He was literally trying to create that you do this, I'll do this. You don't want to do this, I will hold this back. So that's going to be interesting to see how that sort of comes forward. And as I said, okay, yeah, here we go, okay? This is so blatant that except for those really, really like militant diehard Trump fans, people are going to, as this story keeps on and more people actually start focusing in on it, it's going to get people right upset. There's going to be some really high emotions from people who just see what he has done as so blatantly wrong. And there will be demands to return the United States back to a position of promise. And the potential to do that, to literally kick the devil out, is going to be afforded to the Dems. And all we can do is hope and pray that they are reading the tea leaves the right way and that they push forward where they have a tremendous amount of strength right now to push forward and realize their highest dream or their highest hopes, and the highest hopes of the vast majority of the American people who want this absolute nightmare to stop. It is enough. So this is an interesting thing, right? Because all of a sudden now, there seems to be much more clarity on what it is that could have propelled Trump to leave office before the next election. Everybody kept saying, you know, he could leave before, but there wasn't a lot of clarity on what could cause him to actually have to leave. And this may very well be what creates the movement and the momentum for that really strong push to get him to leave office. So whether he rides out the impeachment or he simply gets really pushed behind the scenes by his own party, this definitely looks as if he is going to fall. He's going to take a fall. And the people, beautiful, and the people will have their victory because truth and justice will win the day. Well, here comes judgment. Now, I have heard, I've gotten a couple of little statements on my comment section that some people, some readers are thinking actually that the whistleblower could be female. I'm not getting a real clear thought on that, but definitely with the Queen of Swords and the Empress, again, female energy, female power is going to be what creates the judgment that comes down on him. So there we have it. I think that gives us some clarity of what's going to happen. So again, for those of you who are looking for something concrete to do, this would be a really good time to let your representatives know that they need to push ahead on this. This is no longer, you know, take your time. Everybody understands there is a strategy that needs to be put in place. You know, things need to unfold in a methodical and logical manner so that all of the facts that can be made available are made available. Having said that, though, there is definitely now some momentum to move this thing forward at a much, much faster pace than before. So, that's what we know today about Trump, the Democrats' reactions to what's going on to the whistleblower. And I guess we're going to watch and see over the next few days how that unfolds. Just a request from me, please. Every once in a while I get comments that say, oh, another reader said this, or this was mentioned by whoever. As I've said before, I don't watch other readers now. It is truly the only sad thing about kind of having gone public, because I can't afford to be influenced by their impressions, even though collectively we all seem to be having very, very similar energy readings, and our understanding of what's going on is very similar. So if there's something you especially would like me to look at or check out, please provide kind of the name of the reader, and if you can, like some way for me to flag the specific episode, because I really do need to be cautious, but I really do appreciate it when I get feedback from you saying, you know, you're on track, or something, you know, 3 other people have said this. So if that works for you and you're sending me a note and you can just make a quick reference, that would be like really helpful and amazing. So again, thank you so very, very much for finding me and joining me and taking this journey towards sanity together. I promise you it is coming. And until then, we need to breathe deep and stay calm. And this too shall pass. All right, my dears. So until next time, take care. Be well. We'll see you real soon now. Bye.